So please understand, after today, you will be having your 2 weeks break. So we request you to complete your unit 2 completely. Okay, that is, you will, by this time, if you have submitted your lesson plan, then no, we can. So if your unit 1 is not complete, please do not proceed without completing your unit 1. Okay. So understand, unit 1 is the priority, and please do send the complete folder. Do not send EOL separately, EOR separately, lesson plan. Lesson plan should be in Word format, because if I have to comment on it, then it has to be in the Word format. Tehseen ma'am, I have not received your shared document. Complete document I have not received. So I was not able to review your documents. Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I'll just resend again.
You have to send the entire folder, ma'am, because you're sending one after another. The entire folder, all the documents must be shared. Okay. So those
I have sent the draft, but I did not get any comments.
I have done yours. I remember completing yours, Vika. Kambika, right? I think you didn't send me the updated one. Unit 1, the first one I have corrected, draft 1. Now, when I look into your folder, once you have done, I will not be knowing unless you have, because you have already shared with me. I'll not get a pop-up message. So you'll have to put a WhatsApp message or send the link again to me. Otherwise,
Okay.
I will not be getting the message.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I saw your draft. It's inside draft 1 only. So no, I've not checked that. I'll just mark it as 100 so that that can be. Yeah. Anyone else that is pending? Anyone else it's pending?
I have given all the 3 to Anupama ma'am. She said by today she will correct and I'll give it to you. By today I'll give by today.
So unit 2 lesson plan also, please start working on it, because next 2 weeks you will have to complete 3/4 of your work of your unit 2. Otherwise it will be difficult for you to catch up. Okay. Today we will be starting with our unit 3, the first session of unit 3. And we will be having another 3 more sessions only. So I request you to please hurry up so that in case you have any doubts, you can clarify it. This is the checklist for unit 2. You have to start again with your EOL. EOL is 600 words. Then lesson plan, observation feedback form. Then your evidence of reflection, which is also 600 words. So EOL, when I say, it is actually the write-up plus references. Okay, write-up should be separate, references should be separate. References will not be coming under the word count. EOR also, references separate. And then you have the artifacts, that is as per your class. Student work must be evidenced here. Please do not take class photos and paste. Okay. It should be authentic students' work, which has to be presented as your artifacts. Okay. And that should be mentioned either in the EOL or in the EOR. Whatever artifacts you're attaching here must be mentioned in the EOL or EOR. Then any questions that you have related to unit 2 till now? Any questions? Okay. So we'll move on to unit 3, facilitating active learning through effective teaching and assessment. So LOI, Plan a sequence of lessons that are coherent and have well-defined links to previous learning and learning objectives. So the key questions are, what are the key features of a coherent lesson plan? Why should teachers plan sequence of lessons? Why should the content of lesson plans have well-defined links to students' previous learning and learning objectives? Why should teachers use a variety of teaching and learning strategies when planning the sequence of lessons? So your first activity is individual activity. Link your learning from Unit 2. Unit 2, if you have not covered, take it from Unit 1. Specify the features of a coherent lesson plan that you had adopted and what changes would you like to make. So read pages 521 to 524, how to reflect from teaching today. That is your resource. It's already shared with you. 521 to 524. So it's 9:36. I'll give you 10 minutes reading time. 9:46. I'll ask you for your responses. Sharmila, I think you joined just now. They're working on linking Unit 2 to Unit 1, reading pages 521 to 524 from teaching today.
Yes, ma'am.
Sharmila,
Please
Yes, ma'am.
post
Yes,
the
ma'am.
questions in the chat box, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
it's already done. Please check. It's in the chat box. There is no question. You will have to reflect. You will have to reflect on your learning. One more minute remaining. Yeah. Who would like to go first? You will have to specify the features of a coherent lesson plan.
Ma'am, can I try?
Yes, Sri.
Ma'am, the first is the learning outcomes.
Okay.
There should be warm-up activity, that is the opening activity.
What is that called as?
Prior connectivity.
Connectivity. No?
Think. Prior
Advanced
knowledge connect,
organize-
we say that you have to use an
Advanced
Organizer.
yeah, advanced organizer. Yes.
Then comes the, what did I write here?
All objectives should be reached, ma'am. Aim.
That directly going to reaching of the objectives.
The presentation of the new materials, ma'am.
Presentation of the new materials. Okay.
And then everything.
What?
Application, practice and application.
Practice and application. Okay.
And then the feedback, ma'am. Conclusion, reflection.
Conclusion. Okay. Conclusion and reflection. Fine. Right.
Mm.
What are the other things? And anyone else? Revati. Okay. Fine. She has done. What are the other things? Anyone else can think?
like formative assessment methods in between to check the knowledge of the students while lesson is going on,
Okay.
continuously assessing the children. And if children
Yes.
is not able to, every time we should have we should have two plans, ma'am. If lesson plan A is not working immediately without wasting the time, we should connect with another plan so that we can
Hmm.
connect with the children and go with the lesson instead of
Okay.
keeping only one plan in the hand.
Okay. Okay.
Logical sequence, ma'am. Structured flow.
Yes, very good. Structured flow of the lesson, right?
Engaging strategies.
Engaging strategies, right?
So
Ma'am,
that the
Yes, Shravanti. Shravanti, you're on mute.
Yeah, ma'am. The first one is the main aim for the lesson plan, and then we have to go with an objectives. We should keep the
Okay.
materials ready. And the first one is make the children engage, start with some warm up to grab their
Very good.
attention. And then we need to direct the instructions first for the prior knowledge activity, the first one, and then connect it with the existing lesson plan. We should not jump into it. And then we should have an independent practice also. I mean, the activity should be given independently to know that it has been reached to each and every child. And at the end, we should even summarize the key points or reinforce the concept again, and then have a formative assessment to know whether the lesson plan has been reached to the children or not. And we should also concentrate on the differentiation, like adopting diverse learners, whether it has been reached to the diverse learners too. And
Okay.
foremost important one is the time management, ma'am.
Mm.
Whether we are able to reach our aim, or we are able to finish our objectives within the time limit, and then reflect what went good, whether the lesson plan has gone reach the children well, or what we have missed it. Self-reflection is very important, ma'am. How it went, we need to make an adjustment. We need to have any other strategies to make it more effective for the children.
Okay, very good. Okay. Yes, Parveen.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, for a coherent lesson plan,
Mm.
the things which we have to be clear with are clear learning objectives. We should be ready with the clear learning objectives, ma'am. Then we should follow, align with the curriculum requirement. We have to plan the activity strategies for a seamless flow. Then we have to design activities, ma'am, which can engage the children. Then proper assessment we have to take whenever the lesson is going on, whether they have understood or not. So we have to take the assessments there wherever it is required, ma'am. And then it is like whatever we are planning, it should be adapt with the time. So we have to see the time also. Time management is important, and most important is the resources, ma'am. So what teaching learning materials we are using, that we should be clear with that, and that is most important. And closure should be given, ma'am, for the lesson, like reflection. So how the lesson has went on, so that the closure should be done in the lesson. Perfect coherent lesson.
Okay. Any other? Yes, Shampa ma'am.
Like there can be a bad lesson or a good lesson. When we have a bad lesson, we shouldn't like reflect on it immediately, but sleep over it and then try to analyze the points that went wrong. So
Okay.
during our analysis, we have to do Cobb's cycle, like
Yes, yes, ma'am.
right, Padma?
Yeah, correct, correct.
So review, reflect, then again plan and do the lesson again. So to see that what went wrong. So in a effective lesson, like a good lesson, we should always keep like what went right and whether to use that in our next lesson. But
Very
there
true.
too, we need to like find out whether these plans will go along with the topic that is being done in the next lesson plan, so that it
Very true.
matches the thing. For example, if we have a certain game in one of my lessons, I use the game of cricket. I made two groups in my class, and one group had to pose questions, that those were the balls given to the next group, and the batting was done by giving the right answer. So they scored runs according to the answers given by them. So it was very effective in one of my classes, but when I gave it to one of my teachers in the maths class, it did not work well. The game did not work well. So we need to reflect on these points on the lessons that we take.
Very true. Very true. If you look into the that resource that was given, you can see actually how reflection must be written when you are actually looking at a particular activity. You say they have given it as a better reflection, okay, poor reflection they have given. And then if you go down evaluating lessons in page number 526, what are the different features that you have to look through when you are going for a lesson? Okay. Did you get it?
Ma'am, your
Can you see
voice was
that?
breaking, ma'am. Can you repeat, ma'am?
Just a minute, I'll share. This page you can go through in your resource. Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Lesson evaluation, choice of activities, variety of activities, seating, temperature, ventilation, lighting, safety, learning aids, implementation of plan, communication, teacher-student relationship. Can you see that?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So these are some of the areas that you will have to focus on when you are doing your lesson. So coming to, we will continue this. What is the, what are the different features that we will have to consider when designing a lesson? So now I will be giving 3 breakout rooms. Room 1 is for English and other languages. Room 2 for science. Room 3 is for maths. So you will have to choose your room as per your subject. Okay. You will download the format, lesson plan format from PDQ Connect and work on the lesson plan, okay, a coherent lesson plan. And you will be presenting this lesson plan here. Okay, a template of the lesson plan you will have to download and work on it and present here. So room 1 is for English and languages, room 2 for science, room 3 for math. So social, you can also join the room 1. Okay, right. I'm just creating the groups. You can pick the room. If you'd like to move to other rooms and check out also, like if you're a primary teacher, you would like science, you can go to science also. Joined, all of you? What happened? You have not joined. Arvind, you have not joined.
He didn't,
No, ma'am, I didn't receive joining.
I also didn't receive.
You have to select the room.
Oh.
Okay, Chaitanya, you tell me which subject you are.
Science, ma'am.
Join breakout rooms.
Now we got it, ma'am.
Now we can.
Saujanya.
Ma'am,
Revati,
myself, one, ma'am.
One, ma'am, I didn't get it.
One, ma'am.
Me or ma'am, me also
you're
one.
already in room 1. Just you will have to move. Dharma, you are in?
One.
Saujanya?
Got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Saujanya, what is your room? Just a minute, Revati.
Ma'am, I'm one, ma'am.
1 minute, 1 minute. You were already in one, so I can't move you. Saujanya, what is your room? Which is your subject? Saujanya, what is your subject?
Ma'am, it's English, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, English. My internet is actually unstable, so
Yeah. I think a lot of people in English are there, so I'll just join and tell you can take 2 lessons. Okay. So group 1, now you can start your presentation. Yes, start. What happened? Who is presenting?
We were in the process of doing, ma'am.
I think
No, whatever you've done to present, see,
sure.
you have to do it individually. You can't be doing it as a group, isn't it, later on? So you just present what you are doing.
Alicia will present.
Okay.
Ma'am, as per the discussion, we have first sorted out what we have to do first, then the sequence we have discussed, ma'am. Then we have come up with the topic abstract nouns, and we have chosen the objectives, identifying abstract nouns from the list of words, then differentiating between the concrete and abstract noun, and constructing sentences using 2 abstract noun at least. These are the 3 objectives. The learners will be, end of the lesson, learners will be able to do it. First, we'll be starting with the prior knowledge check by asking them, by showing them emojis first, ma'am, and asking them to choose how they are feeling that day. And with that, we will be, they'll be giving the words related to that also. And the formative assessment for this is the selection of the words, ma'am, what emojis they are choosing and what words they are choosing for the particular emojis. With that, we will be assessing the children in the for the prior knowledge check. Then coming to the introduction, we will ask the learners a few situational questions, and with that they'll be giving some responses with a single word, like how they are feeling, or with that we'll be forming a word cloud, wherein we will have a lot of words on the board. From that, we are going to take the children to the main teaching activity, which is abstract noun, ma'am. We will be explaining what is abstract noun and what is a concrete noun here. The definitions will be told to the children with few examples. We can write few examples on the board, and we will be explaining. That is all complete main teaching part, ma'am.
Add on to it, Alicia, let me just put in like we will give them sentences. For example, I ate an apple and that gave me happiness. So underline the concrete noun and circle the abstract noun. So they will underline apple as the concrete noun, and then the abstract noun is happiness. In the same way, they can also have a role play where the 4 friends are standing together. 3 of them make a group, 1 is left alone. So friends are a concrete noun, and he standing alone, loneliness is an abstract noun. So he's showing that he is lonely. So in that way, they can have sentences where they will choose the concrete noun and the abstract noun to differentiate between these 2 types of nouns. Yes, Alicia, you can continue.
Yes, ma'am. So I guess till that we have planned, ma'am. I would like to ask for the inputs if anybody has.
Yeah. What do others think of it? And kindly avoid 2 minutes and all that. No, 2 minutes, it's very difficult in the class to measure.
Okay, ma'am.
Minimum, keep it up to 5 minutes. Maximum can be 15 minutes. That's it. Don't go beyond it. Keep a chunk of 25 minutes for explaining and all that. Your time will not be sufficient. Yes. Others? No other input?
Ma'am, regarding to the reflection, like at the end, like whether the children have done in understood, the students have understood the differences between the concrete and the abstract nouns, how they have participated in the activity, and how they have done the role play, how the active participation of the students have done. Where they, any student who had a trouble in identifying the abstract nouns will be doing, and for the next time, for the next class during the revision time, we'll make sure that we'll come with, or else we'll have a plan B where we'll have a different strategy to make it more clear to the student who is having difficulty in identifying.
How are you going to do it? This lesson plan has to show is how are you going to do it?
We can show some visual aids like
For reflection.
for the reflection, yes, ma'am. Like to make it more clear to the child, or keep we'll
How,
make it
how,
more
how are you ensuring that it is very clear? Why are you doing that? Where did it go wrong?
So, ma'am, if the child is feeling like difficulty, like when it was in a sentences or role play, if the child is not able to identify the abstract noun or the concrete. Now, what we do is we show the emojis again. We come
See,
with
you
this.
can't say that, Shravanti. The problem is that means your entire lesson plan itself is wrong, isn't it?
Ma'am, can I say?
Yes, Sinduri.
Ma'am, like we can ask the children, like when they are doing a role play, if any child is not able to identify that, so
How
we can-
how do you ask the child to identify? Again, you are coming back that no, to ask like to get the child to know what is actually reflection. You are not going to know whether.
Ma'am, we can use a
Ma'am,
3,
shall I
2,
say?
1.
Now, 1 minute. Remember, this lesson plan is your planning. Okay. Don't, how do you plan? Considering that, no, there will be few students who have not learned.
No, ma'am, we should always have that plan. Mean, see,
Then that has to be in your plan. Always think it is going for 100 because your planning is for 100%. Okay. So you will have to put that and the teacher content, teacher activity formative. In the learner activity, you will say learners will try to, because in the class, you will be looking at and immediately looking at alternative methods to see that the child is achieving. Okay. That
Okay.
has to be done. That comes under not here. That is not this reflection. This reflection is you are saying recap and the students' reflection on their learning. Okay, remember your reflection will not come here. You will have a box down, lesson evaluation. There you have to put your reflection. That is after implementing your lesson. Don't
so
write it
active,
in your lesson plan.
okay,
It's a
so
Ma'am,
plan.
active
can we use
participation of
a
the
exit
children
slip?
in the role play will be the reflection, ma'am.
No, role play
No, role
wise.
play cannot be
Role play.
reflection.
Ma'am,
Exit
then
can
can
be
we
use
give
a
the
exit slip.
worksheets? Can we
Exit
give the
slip
worksheets or
Yeah,
Ex-
Champa ma'am, exit slip can be a reflection.
exit
Yes.
skip
where
can be
we have
reflection.
3, 2, 1 procedure where 3 things you have learned today, 2 things you
Yes,
have
that
not
is
learned
a
well,
reflection.
reflection?
and 1 thing you want to know more about it. So
Yes,
3, 2,
that's a
1 scheme
reflection.
we can put here.
Exit cards
Oh.
can be reflection here.
Yes, exit cards can be reflection. Role play cannot be. While they are presenting the role play, you will have to observe and identify who has a learning gap or who has a misconception. That is our part, teacher part. But that will not come in our planning. Remember that. Our planning, what is the prior knowledge we have already thought about and we are giving it. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Group 2. Group 2. Who is presenting? I think Chaitanya has the ma'am.
Sharmila, you are presenting. You have to.
I'm presenting now.
Okay.
So, ma'am, visible thinking routines may those exercises come, that also can be used, na ma'am? Think
Yes, you
and
can
challenge,
use.
explore those things.
Yes, you can use.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Chaitanya, can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Our lesson title is a photosynthesis, ma'am. This is for grade 8 students. Duration 40 minutes. Aim of the lesson to understand the concept of photosynthesis and importance. Here we have taken 3 learning objectives. The first one, learners will be able to define the term photosynthesis, and learners will be able to recognize the different components which are needed for the process of photosynthesis, and we will be able to present the sequence of photosynthetic process. So the first 5 minutes, the teacher greetings to the children, and we'll start with a advanced organizer, ma'am, by asking two questions, writing the two questions on the whiteboard, and we'll give sticky notes. They will pass on with each other. So they will write within the 3 minutes. Learners will answer these two questions, and they will stick it to the whiteboard. So after
Okay.
that, the teacher will observe the responses and she will proceed with the lesson. If there is any misconception, children or not, few children, if they have done any mistake, she will clarify it. And
Remember, along with
uh,
greeting, you have to share the objectives. That must and should be
yes, ma'am.
mentioned.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sharing learning objectives to the learners, and teacher will start teaching, ma'am. First, defining the photosynthesis process by writing the word equation on the board. So while explaining itself, to understand the term properly, if she can put it in a word equation, they will know what are the reactants, what are the products, and what are the requirements. What are the essential requirements for this process to happen. So like that, they will when we write on the board, they will
Chaitanya,
understand.
can you just pause a minute? I would like our group 1 members just go to the objectives, no? Remember, we were discussing how you connect. I'll show you the connection here. The objectives are 3 here. Learners will be able to define the term photosynthesis, recognize different chemical components which are needed in the process of photosynthesis. Now go down, no? Next, that 15 minutes. Go down a little bit. Here, can you see? Sharing learning objectives is given here. Define the term photosynthesis using the word equation. So it has come in the teacher activity. Now in the word equation itself, can you see the chemical components are already there? So the two objectives are explained in the teacher column. And it is now the person or the examiner will automatically understand, okay, that is what is given in the worksheet. Okay. So you will have to link your objectives to the teacher activity or your worksheets or your, formative assessments. Okay. Yeah. Go down. Now they have identified, can you see the different, recognizing different chemical components? That is also there.
Yes, ma'am. Shall I, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Once the word equation is explained clearly, the process of photosynthesis is explained clearly by using the word equation. In the worksheet, we have 3 different questions, ma'am. In the first question itself, fill up will be there where some reactants will be missing. So the learners will do the first question. So by that, by observing that the work of the learners, by taking a round in the class, teacher will come to know whether they have understood clearly or not. And next 5 minutes, ma'am, we keeping the word equation on the board again, we teacher will circle all the chemical components. So before she was not telling that these are the chemical components and all. She is just telling the word definition. These are required. These are required. But the teacher will make them understand these all are the chemical components which are required in this process by circling it. And in the simultaneously, she will ask learners also to circle in their worksheet also.
Okay.
And next 10 minutes, we'll go to the next learning objective about the events in the process of photosynthesis by displaying a short video. While displaying this video, teacher will pause at every event and she will explain how the conversion of light to chemical energy will happen, which pigment is responsible, and the next one, how the reduction splitting of water molecule, how it happens, and how the glucose molecule will be formed, how this carbon dioxide will be reduced to form glucose. Yeah, stepwise, she will pause everywhere and she'll make them understand. learner activity, they will observe the video, and in the next column in the worksheet, they will have a questions related to this events of photosynthesis. They will try to answer that. They'll fill that, and next 5 minutes, so a teacher will conclude the whole concept what she have taught, and learners what the work they have done. That worksheet they will share with their peers, self-assessment peers, and they will try to correct those worksheets. Finally, this assessment will be done where they went wrong. So. Teacher can ask the learners like how many questions you are able to do correctly, where you went wrong. So that area she can teach it again, revise. So
Okay.
this concludes the class now. And as a
That's
homework,
great.
she can ask her to go through the learner's book and read the process of photosynthesis.
Yeah, other group, anything you would like to add? What is missing out in the key features? Anything? Anything that you would like to add? See, most of the formative assessment of this group was individual activity. It's not a
Oh, yes,
pair or a
ma'am.
group
Even
work.
I felt while doing this.
Okay, it is not a pair or a group work, and there are a lot of teacher questioning that is coming in. Okay, so more of student involvement must be visible in your lesson planning. Okay, worksheet is there. She has given peer
Okay, ma'am.
assessment. That is good, but no, avoid questioning repetition of your formative assessment. Okay, you will have to include other
ma'am.
varieties of formative assessments where student engagement is clearly visible.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take a small break. It's 10:50. We'll come at 10:55. Okay. Okay, then we'll make it as 11. So 11 to 12:30, I can continue. Okay. Right. Okay. Take a short break. Okay, I'm just, can you all come back? Yes, all of you can come back. I'm sharing a spreadsheet with you. Okay. Now, based on the lesson plan that you have done, list down all the features that you have identified. Now you have language group and science group. You need not do the math one. So list the features against the column. So what is that you have done? Elaborate on how you achieved in your lesson plan. Clear learning aim and objective, beginning, middle, and conclusion. Introduction that makes links with students to existing learning. Topic content that is logically sequenced. Variety of teaching and teacher activity teaching methods that promote active learning. Variety of learning activities to engage and motivate learners to learn. Opportunities for students to reflect, formative assessment, learning materials, and time allocation. How did you achieve? You can take any one and which one you understood and you can.
Ma'am, we should write whether we have achieved
Ma'am,
or
can you
not.
please
Yes or
tell me
no,
what?
ma'am?
You have to elaborate on how exactly you have did your lesson plan, isn't it? So
Yes,
how
ma'am.
exactly had this happened in that lesson plan while you were discussing? What are the things that you understood?
Oh,
Yeah. If you see one person writing, do not take that, take the other one.
So, ma'am, if I say the topic content that was logically sequenced, so for that, what do I need to actually
You
write?
have to say how it was logically sequenced.
Sequenced. Okay. So
Yes.
I'll just ask, ma'am. So the steps of the photosynthesis was clearly
No, you started with the definition, then you went into the components,
components,
then you went into the process.
process. So that I will mention, ma'am.
Yes. Huh. Okay, I can see answers coming in, right? Now, this checklist, it will come with your presentation. Please make a note of it and use this as a checklist for your lesson planning for Unit 2. Unit 3, next week, one more we will be adding because we are not touching that part this week. Done, all of you? Okay, the next group is, next activity for your Unit 3. You will have to prepare a sequence of lesson. Sequence of lesson, only one your mentor will be visiting, writing the observation feedback form. There should be minimum of 4 lessons planned, that is 4 periods planned. Remember, one mentor will be visiting, the other 3 you will be writing the activities in the activity log. Okay, there is a format, a template that is available for Unit 3, known as the log. Okay, so there you will have to mention an activity in detail. Okay, and one activity from the lesson plan that you have implemented under the mentor, where the mentor has observed. Okay.
Ma'am,
So
can you
you
repeat it again, ma'am?
See, you should have minimum 4 periods of plan. Remember, 4 periods, you should have it for 4 days. Not that 2 periods on one day and 2 periods on the next day. No, that is not allowed. 4 consecutive days it has to be. Now, 1 period here and after 5 periods, another period cannot be allowed. 4 consecutive periods, lesson, the same lesson. Okay. 1 period must be the mentor observed period. Got it? 1 period should be mentor observed period, for which you will be writing the lesson plan and your observation feedback will be written by the mentor. In this lesson plan, which your mentor observed, only one activity you will be taking it to the log. Only one activity you will be taking it and writing it in the log. In the activity log, 4 activities must be written. Now already we covered one, that is your mentor observed lesson. The other should be from your sequence classes, sequence periods.
Ma'am, for the same lesson plan, we need to have 3 more activities, or it was a separate
Not
one?
same lesson plan, same lesson.
That's what.
4
Okay.
periods. Okay, 4 activities. Got it?
After writing 4 activities, any one we should write it in the writing logs.
No.
No, yeah.
Actually, it is 4 lesson plans, 4 days lesson plans.
Okay.
Of one lesson. One lesson only your mentor will be observing. From this lesson, one activity you will write it in the activity log.
Okay.
The next day's lesson, you will take one activity, write it in the activity log.
Okay.
Third day, again, one activity. Fourth day, again. But this should have a logical sequence for the lesson, not the lesson plan. Lesson, it should have a sequence.
So we need to take a
Ma'am,
topic, divide into 4 periods, ma'am. Each day, we have to divide into segments. And the first one, we need to add a...
Shravanti, for your case, yes, one topic, you will have to take it as 4 periods. But for others, it's a topic, a lesson, which has minimum 4 periods.
Yeah, divide
Ma'am,
into 4.
do we have to take the same topic or relate
Same topic.
Same lesson.
If we are taking the nouns, it should be nouns, not like we do not have to
It should
segregate.
not change. It should not change. So that time, plan for a lesson. Okay, plan for a lesson which has literary component, which has a grammar component, and which has some creative writing component, so that your activities can also be set accordingly.
Ma'am, how does this writing log look like? Like what exactly? Like
take the template. You have the
Okay.
template in Unit 3. Okay.
Okay.
You
Ma'am,
will have what is that? Write a brief about date. What did the learners do? How do you think it was achieved? And last is what is your reflection? Remember, not your students' learning. Okay, based on how this activity happened in your class, your reflection, you will have to enter that. Okay, first you complete your Unit 2, then Unit 3, you will have an idea. Okay.
So for Unit 2, it's children's reflection what we write. For Unit 3,
No, everywhere it is your reflection. Nowhere it is kids' reflection. Everywhere it is your reflection.
okay.
ma'am, artifacts will be the children's reflection, ma'am. If we
Not again, why are you using the word reflection? Students work.
work, okay. Yes,
Don't tell it as reflection. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Students recap. That's it. But students writing, see, for example, you said you've given a worksheet where the students have answered. Now, here also don't take one student. Okay. It should be 3 students. Okay. Maximum. 3 students maximum. 2 or 3 students. That's it. Don't put only one student's this one there. It will
Group
not be
activity.
accepted. Yeah.
Ma'am,
So,
in this unit 3, as you were saying, the 4 activities. So suppose if I'm taking the concept of mensuration, so I can go with 2D and 3D mensuration.
are you going to cover 2D and 3D in 4 periods?
No, ma'am, it's for if it is for stage 8 or 9, if I'm taking. So mensuration, we can give.
You go only with 2D. See, one thing is it's basically maths. So one day you may have a drawing activity where they are, say, initially you are asking them to find the area, okay,
Yes.
of that particular in a graph paper.
Yeah, square
Okay.
paper. Yeah.
Next day it can be something like asking them to do it on a simple problems like based. Then
Okay.
it can be a group work.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Then fourth, it can be a practical work.
All right, ma'am.
So each one you define it on the same topic different way, because the moment you go to 3D, again, no, the total idea changes.
All right.
So why should you plan a sequence of lesson? Read page 469 to 478. I'm not giving your groups, but no, you know which subject you're dealing with. Read through it and discuss the importance of planning the sequence of lessons while you are implementing. We'll have an open discussion. Why do we need a sequence of lessons? Got the page numbers? It is the book page number 469.
Ma'am, planning courses, ma'am.
No, yeah, planning courses in that scheme of work is there.
Ma'am, could you please tell the page numbers, ma'am?
469 to 470. Yes. They have read through. Can you just have a discussion? Yes. Someone can start.
Yeah, ma'am. Can I?
Yes,
Just
Kushi.
what I understood, I'm just telling now.
Sure.
Yeah, ma'am. By planning sequence of lessons, it will ensure us for the smooth transition and to
Very
meet the
good.
learning objectives, ma'am. That's the main goal, reaching our objectives. So it should be a sequence so that it goes in a there is a connectivity and also smooth transition. And there is some benefits of this is like we can be organized, we can improve our organizing skills, prepare the materials and be ready with the materials, and we can also anticipate the student difficulties in this when we go in a flow, and also we can give additional support to them wherever needed. If in the sequence, if we need anything, we can give additional support. Also, the sequencing will help us with differentiating instructions to meet the diverse student needs. And
Very
also,
true. That's true.
and also it ensures our timely assessments also. Like every section will make us to give an assessment so that that can again reflect to the student's need.
Very true. Yes.
It also adjusts our future lesson plans, future
Very good.
experience and plans.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think it's overall lead to a better structured and more effective learning.
Okay. Yes, Shravanti.
Yeah, ma'am. So what I have understood is this scheme of work organizes the course content, ma'am, and skills development and also the teaching strategies, ma'am. It breaks down the content into the lessons or the weeks in a logical and a progressive order way. And
Okay.
also this lessons planning clarifies what comes next and also ensures the course finishes on time.
Mm.
And the purpose why we need to have this scheme of work, I mean, is it helps us to organize the topics and the skills in a teaching sequence, a proper sequence to be followed. And also it supports the active teaching, ma'am, and learning by promoting the content, understanding, and skill development.
Very good. Very good.
And also it yes, ma'am. And also it ensures that the teacher can track the progress and stay on target for the course duration.
Okay. Yes,
So
Shampa ma'am.
As already said by Kushi and Shravanti, it has to be logical, but we have logical progression. We also have to keep in mind that it is progressing higher up in the, it goes to a higher level in the Bloom's taxonomy when we are planning the sequence. But the dangers of this are that we may sometimes isolate from the previous concept that has been taught in the sequence. So there should be an element of connectivity between the two parts that we have divided the content into. So it should bring in for example, we are doing the third part of the lesson. The student shouldn't forget the first part. There should be some taglines which will connect
Spiral learning.
to every part of the divided portions. So these are the elements that I have.
Okay. Okay, Shampa ma'am. Thank you. Yes, Alicia.
Yes, ma'am. So the same points are repeating here, ma'am. I'll just give my take.
There is another point. If you've read it, you would have got it.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
So the scheme of work actually says about how we have to plan. If we have an aim, what are the outcomes we have to plan, how we have to uh, select our content, what we have to teach, what are the activities we have to plan, that to age appropriate questions, what type of questions we have to pose, and what type of activities we are. See, we will have a time to plan all of this when we are following the scheme of work. And most important, we will be organized in the lesson planning, ma'am. And then it is assessment methods. We will have an idea what kind of assessments we have to take, if it is formative or if it is summative, what which we have to choose, and what kind of questions we have to pose. And even yeah, ma'am, that's all. I have little doubt on about the task analysis, ma'am. I need some more time to.
Okay, okay, no issues. Yeah. Yes, Manjari.
Yes, ma'am. So what I felt after reading is that, ma'am, when we plan something, the skills are the part of the lesson plan. So the skills are, we cannot treat the skills as a different. So, while planning a lesson like over here, suppose the functional skills, okay. So over here we can integrate ICT, and it becomes, in fact, in the lesson plan itself, we can integrate the lesson itself. We can integrate like ICT skills. In the similar manner, even we have the note making or any kind of graphical organizer or the essay writing. So these are various skills, problem solving skills, and then they have this appraising skills and the critical hypothesis. So all the skills, critical thinking, problem solving, so all these skills can be the part of the lesson, and those skills makes the lesson plan effective. So we need not train the student in a different, saying that this is a skill and you have to learn this. The skills can be the part of the lesson, what I understood, in fact.
Skills must be embedded within
Embedded,
the.
yeah, this must be embedded in the lesson plan. So it's a part of the lesson, and that makes the lesson effective, in fact, if the skills are being embedded rather than treating it differently. Like many of us say, like when we teach, we make like essay writing a different kind of, a lesson altogether. So it should not be. While taking literature, it should be the part of the lesson. So that is embedded. The skill is embedded in the lesson. That's what I understood.
Very true, very true. Yes. Sharmila.
Yes, ma'am. So I understood with this scheme of work is our course objectives need to be aligned with our learning activity. Whatever the object is, as even in the science that we have seen now, the course objectives should require to be aligned with the activities that we plan, and it have to have a differentiated instruction and the varied assessment method. Like for one topic, the assessment or the formative assessment can be of different way, wherein each children can be like a check for the progress or what they understood. And the next thing is like incorporate the technology enhanced learning irrespective of the subject. The technology have to incorporate it even for explaining the concept or even for assessing as well, which will probably make the lessons quite interesting. And we have to foster the student engagement and interaction. Again, it have to be
Okay.
a student centric approach. So with this scheme of work we can achieve these goals, and we have to continuously evaluate, and we have to improve or reflect, and we have to change our lesson plans for our further days. So I
Okay.
understood these things, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Garima. You're on mute, Garima.
Yeah, ma'am, two things. First thing is that what Manjari was telling, that we need to embed all the skills what we are having it, and we need to keep in this mind when we are doing the activities, it should not be very hi-fi. It should be in an easy manner so that we can connect with the children. This is what has been given here, that ordinary teaching that separately, and this works quite well but rarely provides sufficient practice. So these things that whatever activity we are planning to do it, it should be practically possible. Then only we can connect, or children can connect with the topic. And skills, what Manjari has said, this is what I just wanted to explain. And another thing, it is the spiral curriculum. We need to find this spiral curriculum, that connection should be made, and we should not complete the whole thing at one go. So we should have it 2 to 3 times, so the connectivity and the link will be there, and they will not forget what we have taught them in the beginning of. So here there's a Bruner's spiral curriculum, which actually explains beautifully that how we can take it one topic in a different stage by linking to each other. So this is
Very true.
what my understanding with this topic.
Very true. That's exactly correct, Garima. No, remember, Alicia, I told you there was a point that you missed. That was the point. Because see, when you are having a spiral curriculum, you should not make your topic into compartments and teach. You should always see that today's topic is recalled. Now, just now I was telling Sharmila the same thing. Remember with why she should not switch from 2D to 3D, because the more you make these connections, that is when your skill develops among your students. It's not that skill is something different from your teaching, but as and when you are giving that repetition, okay, or giving them a re-exposure to the said topic or already told topic, then that, you know, ability of learning turns into a skill. Yes, Chaitanya. Oh, I saw your hand raised. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I thought of sharing the same thing what Garima ma'am said just now about the spiral curriculum. So ma'am have explained. That's why I lowered my
Okay.
hand.
Okay. So that is very, very important actually. When that is the major reason. So when you're writing your activities also, do understand that at one go, the student will not understand everything. So when you're doing activities or when you're designing, also keep that in mind that why you're doing this in a different form. Like, no, sometimes you may do it as a worksheet. Sometimes you ask them to do it as a role play. Next day, you may ask them to go to the field and practically take out a measurement and do it. All this is because you want them to be like understanding the same concept in different scenarios to apply it anywhere.
Ma'am, in CBSE, we have this where each and every topic is being integrated. Like, earlier the way our teacher used to use like teachers, essay writing, notice writing, message writing. Nowadays, in fact, CBSE, we don't teach like that. It is embedded in literature. Even in grammar also, ma'am, suppose we are introducing nouns, after the literature part is done, when we have to go to the, grammar, maybe noun topic, the teacher can always test the previous knowledge by asking them to underline in the literature only the noun. So this is the very smooth flow into the grammar topic, rather than introducing today we are going to learn noun. So that is a redundant, that is old method which we used to follow. But nowadays this is the new trend what CBSE has asked.
Yes, Manjari. Ma'am, one example I just want to share that when teacher is starting a new chapter in English, so what grammar she has taught in the previous chapter, just let's say adjective, I'm taking a small grades. So adjectives. So in the next chapter, what she will do, she will write on the chapter, underline adjectives. So in the new chapter, when the things they are reading, they will ask children to underline. So what is happening simultaneously? New chapter is also there, but the previous recapitulation is happening of the same thing. So that way, new thing about teachers are using it.
Yes, that's what, ma'am. So we have integrated all the writing as well as grammar component in literature only. So, ma'am, the transition is pretty like smooth. It's not a different topic altogether.
So that is what actually the emphasis is also. So when we are following our board curriculum, or when we are looking at sequence of lessons also, look at how you can see that it is from your normal teaching to skill development, the transition is happening.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, in your within that particular topic.
So that's
and
why
once it is, yes, Manjari.
That's why, ma'am, grammar doesn't have any lesson plan.
Yes.
Because many of the we feel that we have to write a lesson. No, grammar doesn't have any lesson plan. It is a part of the lesson only. So we have to go with the transition should be made very smoothly so that it becomes a part.
Yeah, that's the reason I told you for Unit 3, take a lesson. Because you will have the creative component also in it. You will have your grammar component also in it. And you will, because see, when it comes to Cambridge English, it's not at all an issue because the lesson is embedded into all these from long. But CBSE, it was not there. Now they have introduced with this new syllabus. So you will have to see that that is embedded as and when possible, because only 2 classes it is changed. But see that to the maximum, if you on your own take interest and do, learning becomes easy for the students also, and they will not see that as a separate entity. That is the major advantage of it. So what to do in your unit 3 practice? What to do as your unit 3 practice? When you have to sequence, you have smoother transitions in learning. Identify that students require additional support, that is scaffolding. Resources preparation, know when to differentiate learning. You need not worry. After this 2 weeks break, we will be sitting with differentiation only, because next is in unit 3. Lesson plan that you're implementing by your mentor observation is have to show differentiation happening in your classroom. In your lesson plan also, there must be differentiation happening. Then it should ensure future planning, knowing how assessment checks have to be made. So what benefit did you see when new learning was connected with previous learning? So read new learning, previous learning. That's a literature that is shared with you. Now I'll take only 3 or 4 responses from those who have not answered till now. Okay, those who have not spoken till now, I'm going to ask. So please read through the literature and then I will get back to those who have not opened their mouth till now. Because I doubt no whether you have understood or not. So, yes. You got the material?
Ma'am, any task is given now?
Yeah, I asked you to read through that literature, isn't it?
Yes,
One
ma'am. I
minute,
got disconnected due to
I'll
network
share.
issue. Yes, ma'am.
I'll share it in. Yeah. What benefit did you see when new learning is connected with previous learning? Read through new learning, previous learning. Share your thoughts on how it's relevant to the learning theories. Yes, you can start sharing if you.
Ma'am, can I start, ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, when we talk about the connection of new learning with their previous learning, that is their prior knowledge, students will be able to comprehend it better, ma'am, and also to assimilate the information in a better way. And also they will be able to retain the information for a longer time, which will help them retaining it, and because their understanding will be better because they are connecting their prior knowledge with the concept that they are learning. So that is how it will be helping them to retain it better. And also the when we are talking about confidence level, they will be also get motivated to learn it in a better way, ma'am. And if their confidence level will be more, and the participation and the engagement of that their learning will be better comparatively to just starting a topic without any prior knowledge. And also it will help in their improvisation of their thinking level also, ma'am. Thinking, questioning, and there will be the gap will be what we say, the bridging the gap will be better, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Aarti ma'am, where are you? Yes, Aarti ma'am, can you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. It helps to bridge the gap between that prior knowledge and the present knowledge, ma'am.
Okay.
And
So
they,
can you
they
just
will active,
relate
yes, ma'am. They will,
with any
they are
theory and
active.
there?
They will actively participate in that, ma'am.
Okay. So can you relate it to any theory and tell?
Yes, ma'am. If I am taking my grammar topic, ma'am, that noun we took, na, ma'am, in lesson plan. So if they are having the knowledge about the common noun, then they can relate that to the proper noun, and that nouns are there, na, ma'am. Bhavvachak sangya, that one we took, na, ma'am.
Abstract.
They can relate to
Bhavat.
it, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
So which theory can you theory concept learning?
Ma'am, can I try one, ma'am? Metacognition.
No, 1 minute, Preeti, 1 minute.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Tehsina, I saw you raising your hand. Yes, ma'am.
So with regard to the theory that we can relate to is schema theory, SHEMA, where it focuses the theories that have been mentioned here. New information is integrated into existing material frameworks. Bartlett 1995, and also self-regulated learning, Pintrich 1990, ma'am. We can relate this to these theories.
Okay.
And the benefits of connecting new learning to the previous learning, there are numerous benefits where it enhances understanding. That is, the new concepts becomes clear and more meaningful to the students. And it also strengthens retention. That is, connections to prior knowledge help solidify new information in long-term memory. And also it promotes deeper learning, building on existing knowledge, encourages critical thinking and analysis. And also it increases the confidence levels of the students. And it can also be applied in various contexts, ma'am.
Okay.
It can also relate to constructivist theory.
Yeah, now we are talking about theory.
Yeah, John Piaget and Levesky, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
John Piaget as well as Levesky.
Ma'am, even Jean
I get
Piaget's
theory.
theory also will work out. Like
That's what, John
the
Piaget
same,
as well as Levesky.
converted into scheme.
Yeah. So it is going to work out. It works out in every theory. You look at look at
Social learning theory by Bandhuras also, ma'am. Like,
talks. Connectivism also talks. Constructivism also talks. Cognitivism also talks, because there is a clear mention of cognitive load theory.
yes, ma'am.
So what does it mean? What does it mean?
It reduces mental effort, ma'am. When
Schema theory, ma'am. Schema theory.
No,
The
no,
new
see,
And
there are
cognitive
different
method is
persons.
more
You're
efficient.
talking about persons, Tehseen ma'am. I'm asking about the theory.
Okay,
How is
okay.
it linked to
Cognitive
cognitive load theory?
Ma'am, may
Yes,
I?
Ma'am,
Shravanti
this
ma'am.
also
One
can be
Yeah,
Connecting
ma'am.
new learning to prior knowledge reduces cognitive load.
Yes,
Yeah.
mental
So
ability.
what is it I'm asking?
One key idea, ma'am.
this
Shravanti.
Yeah, ma'am. By connecting the new content, no, with the prior knowledge, the
Chimney.
cognitive load will be lessened, no, ma'am. Making it very easy for the children also to process and also to retain the information. So
When
this
will
thing,
cognitive load be high?
Ma'am, basically when we don't have
when
to,
there is
when we
connection between it,
ma'am,
right? The prior
thinking,
knowledge
we
was not
think.
good.
One minute, one
scaffolding.
minute. 1 minute. Yes, Revati.
I was telling basically where we don't have to teach or learn from the scratch.
Very true, very true. When you are already aware of something and you're making connections with it, your cognitive load will be less.
Less.
Okay. If you have to do everything new from the scratch, then your cognitive load will be
Will be
high.
more. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Sharmila. I think you are the person who will experience the most cognitive load in your classes.
Yes,
Max.
ma'am. I
Yes.
could relate this with Jean Piaget's scheme theory because even that I mentioned even in my first lesson one assignment. So here the scheme theory mentions like students whatever they have learned they can organize the knowledge into chunks schemes.
Yeah.
So when any
Schema.
new concept being taught, they can able to modify and they can put that new information as a part of expansion into their original scheme what they are having in their mind. Suppose if I'm teaching algebra, solving linear equations in algebra, the prior knowledge is like they have to know the concept of variables. It means
Mm.
they should know x and y value will be keep on changing, and even
Mm.
in place of x and y, even I can keep a b c d anything. That concept they should have. So when I'm giving the so that would have got registered in their mind, and they would have the scheme in their mind. Okay, variables, constant, and solving the variable single variable, they should have the knowledge which was already the scheme. So when I'm explaining the two variable solving x and y, so they will get to know along with x even we can find even y. So that
Yes.
become an extended part, and we could relate this with theory with Piaget's scheme theory, which I felt.
Yes, the schema, once they build in their brains, that helps them actually to build more schemas. Otherwise, what happens? It blocks.
Yes.
It blocks, and no, you will not have a knowledge gap. It's a knowledge chasm that actually, that is according to Hattie's visible theory, visible learning theory. So
Yes.
all these, remember, they are interconnected. Okay.
And I feel even
Even
it
social
reduces the
learning.
anxiety among the students. They will get one
Yes.
confidence, especially in mathematics. Okay, this is a concept I learned before, so it will become easy. Though they are going to have an extended part, but initially if we motivate them, okay, this is what you learned before, so they could able to relate it, and it will reduce the anxiety over them, and again interest towards mathematics and reducing the cognitive load also can happen by connecting it with the previous knowledge, which I
Yeah,
feel.
ma'am. This can be connected even with the social learning theory, like where it emphasizes the observation and also interaction. The children will lose that fearness and they'll interact more with the group discussions and activities, ma'am.
Very true. Now I'm just giving you another group work. I'm not dividing it into subjects, though I've given it as subject because only two are there, and too many members will not be good for group discussion. I'll give the work in the chat box. So there are different references that you can take. So there is one link also that is provided. So
Yes.
why variety of teaching learning strategies should be adopted when planning a sequence of activities. So teaching today, it's also there. Essential teaching skills is also there. An online one is also there. So you can take any one resource. Okay. You can take any one resource and you can plan. 10 minutes, 12 o'clock, I'll close the groups.
So we will start.
Sorry, actually I was on mute. I didn't know I was continuously talking. Okay, I was asking group 4 to present and I saw you sharing. Okay, you start.
Yes, ma'am. So according to David Kolb's experiential learning theory, ma'am, there are four distinct learning styles which are based on how the learners prefer to engage with learning experiences. So first one, converging, assimilators, converging, diverging, and accommodators. I'm going with the first one, ma'am, assimilators. So where they learn from reading, so like by creating theoretical models. So they like to learn the concepts through theories, models. So for them, it will be a better like lecture method or reading instead of these type of learners. No, they don't prefer hands-on activities. They like to understand the concepts by reading and listening. So coming to the strengths of these assimilators, they can create the theoretical models and organizing the information. They can organize the information well. So they always prefer for logical explanation and as concepts through practical some examples. Through the examples and theories, they will try to learn the things instead of hands-on activities.
They can
They will
also
be
debates where there are logical
debates. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
and also
Will
build upon
be
a hypothesis. They give a hypothesis
yes,
and
ma'am.
build it up to a theory.
They will be good at understanding and organizing a wide range of information like lectures and reading. And so basically, they will try to learn like abstract conceptualization and reflective observation by strong logical hypothesis instead of hands-on activities.
Very. Actually, others please note it, okay? Because generally differentiation means everyone says about visual, auditory, kinesthetic. No, there are other ways in which you can differentiate. We will be dealing it in next class. But this is one form in which we can do the differentiation. Yes.
Picking up the convergent ma'am, it is mainly about the factual knowledge, understanding, problem knowledge, problem solving, where it is done through mind mapping, recap, peer teaching, peer learning, problem solving tasks, like where I give a thing, I give them this thing and they come up with the solution to it, ma'am. It can be a case study as well. And also presentations, ma'am, through multimedia, PPTs, videos. Basically that, ma'am. That covers under convergent.
Very good. Yeah.
So we have another group of learners in our classrooms who are called accommodators. So they learn through hands-on activities. Suppose we give them a design thinking project with some activity-based learning. So they do hands-on activities and accumulate it and then learn through it. So they are better as putting single entities to a wholesome entity. So they accommodate all the challenges or the the loopholes of a particular project and find a solution to it and achieve at results. So for them, we need to give some hands-on activities design thinking or various hands-on activities that we have in our classrooms. We can give them that. HOL activities.
Yeah, ma'am. The other group of learners are like divergent learners. In this, learners explore many possible answers or solutions for a problem. So this encourages their creativity and also they explore a wide range of ideas instead of focusing on one correct answer. So here the students engage in exploring different perspectives and also the possibilities. For example, math problem can be solved in multiple ways. For a drawing, the colors can be the materials or the colors can be chosen according to his opinions and thoughts. So this approach is connects closely with Jean Piaget, ma'am, because this emphasizes that learning is an active, creative process and where learners construct knowledge by exploring various ideas and experiences.
Very true, very true. So actually, we are saying that activities must satisfy these different categories of students. That is the reason you're doing. Very okay. Yeah, next group. Aarthi, Mukambika, Sinduri, and Tehseen.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, we have taken from the essential teaching skills, ma'am. So, as the question was, why should we actually include the variety of teaching learning strategies? Is firstly to develop the positive mentality of the student. So, that when a connectivity was shown with the concept, what the teacher was going to give, so the students develop interest initially and then seek for the new information what the teacher is going to give. Ma'am, am I
Add
audible?
on. Yes, yes, you're audible.
Yeah. My net is.
So we are just going, I'll just continue with what Sinduri said, ma'am. Why variety in teaching learning strategies is crucial to cater to diverse learners. That is, the students have different learning styles and needs. In order to cater the needs of the students, so this variety in teaching learning strategies is very much important. And promoting deeper understanding of the concept and developing multiple skills, and it also, as it encourages active learning also, that's the reason it is very much important. And also it like it also increases their cognition and metacognition levels.
Yes.
And it fosters creativity and innovation, and it also makes learning fun, and it also helps teachers assess students understanding in multiple ways. A teacher can understand the needs of the students in multiple ways, and it also supports inclusive learning and encourages students reflection and self-assessment. Rest my friend will continue.
It helps in promoting active and collaborative learning.
Okay.
And it helps in critical thinking and problem solving of the children. Like different teaching strategies encourage various types of thinking, like critical thinking, others creativity, and some may focus on practical problem solving by using multiple strategies, so that educator can help students engage with content from different angles and varying cognitive levels of the child.
Yeah.
And supporting social and emotional development.
Okay.
Like, yeah, they can help students to build important social emotional skills, including empathy, communication, and conflict resolution.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes. That's it from your group, Aarti?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, room
Ma'am,
3.
ma'am, and also like while we are sequencing, we can also monitor the progress of the learners, ma'am. So when we are able to progress, like when we are able to monitor them, we can give supportive feedback.
Yes.
We can give supportive feedback, and also we can adjust our lesson plans according to their understanding.
That's true. Yeah, room 3. Alicia,
Ma'am, I'll just start with why do we use varied strategies actually, as we have already discussed. When we use varied strategies, it is like, we are catering to the needs of various like levels of students learning. And also it is breaking the monotonity, ma'am. Like, we are not going ahead with one single strategy where children can again get bored, and also it can be a little bit heavier for them for learning any sort of concept which may be a little bit more complex. So by doing that, when we are using varied strategies, it will actually help the children to make the learning interesting, and also they will be more engaged. And since we are also including differentiation, so it caters to the various level of the students. as well as we can see active participation, ma'am. So that is very important. And when we are talking about using varied strategies, also we are giving them the opportunity to so that their critical thinking is enhanced. So also when we see a lot of participation happening, which is also enhancing their social skills. That is also one of the major thing that we see. And here again, we can say that it is encouraging them to become lifelong learners, and they are able to retain their learning for a longer period. And as I was going through one of the article that you had shared, where they were talking about how to start with the lesson, that is from the essential teaching skills that they are talking about, how we should start the lesson. We should ensure there are certain rules or guidelines that has been set up, where they are talking about when you are entering the class, maybe you should enter in first and let the children settle down, and then you should tell them, because the first period is called as a dead period, that is what they are saying, where no learning and all is happening. So you should make sure at that particular time you can just assess their work or something like that in that period. And then the children should pay attention so that teachers can give them the basic instructions and then get into the topic. So these were certain
Very true.
strategies that they have mentioned there.
Similarly, even after games, how you have to handle your periods, what activities are suitable after your games period. Now, this and all, but see, one thing is they have written it on a general format, but if we do it for our classes, we'll have a clear picture on what suits us, what does
Yes.
not suit us.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Manjari, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Alicia here, ma'am.
Alicia, yes, Alicia.
Ma'am, as Preeti ma'am said, the advantages and why we have to choose varied activities. Now, according to the document, ma'am, teaching today, I have understood about the three approaches before planning the activities. One is SIA approach, ma'am, which is content, ideas, and activities. First, what we have to do is we have to understand the content, then formulate all the ideas what we have, what are the principles it has, what is the factual data it has, or formulas, whatever we have to first document it. Then we have to plan activities regarding that, which will, for every principle, how my children will understand. For every factual data, how my children can remember it. Using this data which we have formulated, is looking at the content, we will be planning the activities, ma'am. The other one we have is educate approach, wherein it will be the relationship centered approach, wherein it is all about the project based learning, ma'am. It starts with the relationship between the educator and the child. We will be involving more how they are learning from the scratch. We will be starting. It will be helpful in more of developing the self-esteem of the children. It is useful in the primary learning settings, ma'am, like pre-primaries or first grade, second grade. It will be suitable. And we have double decker lesson planning also, which in the first stage we will be planning the foundation part, ma'am, where we will be giving the definitions or explanations in the basic level. And the second deck will be the application process, where they will, whatever they have learned, they will apply in the activities. So these are the three approaches I have learned through these activities, so that we could plan varied activities.
Educare is actually an acronym, actually, mnemonic. Okay,
Yeah.
you can look at 1 minute. I'll tell you the page number. So it's explanation, doing detail, use, check and correct, aid memory, review and evaluation. Page number 35. That is 26 in the book. Page number 26. Or page number 35 in the top. You can check that. Educare. Okay. Yeah. Next. Yes, Manjari.
Ma'am, Manjari ma'am has
Manjari
got
ma'am,
some
you're on
power
mute.
cut. Manjari ma'am has got some power cut.
Yeah, I know that power cut, but I think she has got disconnected again. Okay. Let's go to the next group and then we'll come back once Manjari comes. Group 4, Garima, Parveen, Sharmila and Shravanti.
Yes, ma'am. We have taken, ma'am, to make to understand why these varieties of strategies are important. So we have taken Kolb's theory in that, the first Kolb cycle is first is the concrete experience. So where when we are introducing a chapter, when we are doing some activities, so through that they are experiencing. After that, the second is the reflection and observation. So what they have learned, what by doing that through activity they are reflecting on that and gaining new experience. And then abstract is this is something that now they have started building their own things, and then again they are doing it by taking active participation or experimentation. So to explain that why variety of strategies are important, I will ask my teammate to take it forward.
Yes, ma'am. Same call cycle, like I'm going to say how that we can integrate in our subject. So mathematics I'm taking, and I'm just going to say how these call cycle can be integrated, and from that how it can show the differentiated instruction effects. So concrete experience, it's like this is mainly useful to encounter any new information. Like in this part or in this learning part, student will use the senses like sight, sound, touch. Basically they will do these things and they'll try to explore and understand, like hands-on activities or a real world problem, like finance or in science experiments we can do, and we can get the concrete experience. Second step is reflective observation. Like students will reflect on their own learning, and they will write it in the journaling or peer discussion and feedback, or like identifying what are the patterns and relationship between the concepts that can be achieved in the reflective observation. And third thing is abstract conceptualization. It's like theorems, understanding the theorems or developing the theoretical understanding about the particular concept. Like we students can formulate the generalization and principles, like Newton's law or anything which is related to even mathematics, a circle theorem. All those things can be conceptualized within this step. And the last step is active experimentation. Whatever that we learned in abstract conceptualization, applying that the theoretical knowledge here, testing the hypothesis, testing the sequences, or testing the effect whether we can get the same result or not. Like again we can use even the technology over here, like graphing calculators or software we can use, and we can check. So the benefits and the usage of calls learning cycle will be proceeded by the team member.
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, regarding to the benefits, what is the role of this course learning cycle in the experimental learning?
Just a minute, Shravanti. Sharmila, you have completed?
Yes, ma'am, done.
Okay. Yes, Shravanti.
Yeah, ma'am. Then what is the role of this course life cycle in the experimental learning? So first, it frameworks for the learning, ma'am. It provides a structured process for designing the experimental learning activities. The four stages will help to maximize the learning. Example like concrete experiences, it engages directly with the activity, whereas the reflective observation, it reflects the experience to extract the insights. So what exactly the insight of the child will be reflecting here, observation of the child will be reflected. And abstract conceptualization, it helps in the developing the theories, ma'am, or ideas based on the experience. And the fourth one is the active experimentation. It helps in applying what was learned to test outcomes and refine the understanding. And comprehensive learning, it ensures that the students progress through all the stages for deeper understanding and retention of the knowledge. So this comprehensive learning, it helps to ensure that the students have been progressed, ma'am, at all the stages. Along with their own learning, it also gives an adaptability that he will come across the different learning styles of learning for the students too. That is the adaptability. Also it ensures that the activities to match with the individual learning styles while still exposing the students to all the stages of cycle. So overall, ma'am, it combines the theory and the practice for a meaningful learning experiences. It prepares the students, ma'am, for the real world challenges by blending the reflection, theory, and also the application.
Okay. Okay.
I would like to continue, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Overall, ma'am, here According to the Kolb's theory, ma'am, why should a variety of strategies should be implemented in the class? When we relate to Kolb's theory, it is nothing but to reach to the all different learners, ma'am. Here, so here to make the learning effective and so that it can be approachable and applicable to all the different learners here. So here, ma'am, when we talk about this, these all learning styles and all, the main motto of this theory and overall is that to make the student learn in a very flexible manner, so that they can, so that our objective and aim can be reached. So this is about the conclusion, ma'am, what I have understood.
Okay. Okay. Now, she has told about the overview. But generally, my question is, if you have only, for example, in the lesson plan, you remember I told you avoid questioning. Why do you think I told that to avoid questioning?
All the learners cannot be
Now you're talking of so many things, but now we are forgetting some fundamental aspect. That's why I'm just, because all of you talked about so many things, but fundamental thing we forgot.
The way of questioning.
Ma'am, maybe too many questions will be asked
Yeah.
from the teacher side only, so it will become rather
As
than
you learn.
centering, it will become teacher
Teacher
centric.
centric, yes.
Teacher is only
Okay.
asking and
Yes,
All
yes.
students may not answer, ma'am.
so teacher is only
Only
asking when we are taking it, after making child giving the introduction through
Active
activities
learning
and all,
strategies.
then they should be asking. They should, so that's why posing so many questions from the teacher side, it will be like teacher centric rather than student centric. This is what I have understood.
Okay, so what will happen if it is teacher centric?
So it
Learning
can't.
will not
Ma'am,
happen.
learning.
Individual learning will not happen.
lose
Teachers
interest.
and
Huh?
involve-
They will lose
Lose
interest.
interest,
Lose
okay,
interest.
they lose interest. Okay, they will say anyway, she will ask questions, she will only answer, we will not be listening.
And also, this doesn't enhance their critical thinking, ma'am. They are
So
losing
when
their
yeah.
skill, inquiry skills, because
Yes.
Yeah,
everything we are
inquiries.
only
no
questioning them.
motivation.
So because when we are throwing question, and when they are, so they will ask from their own level, what their understanding, what they have understood. So that way, if they will keep on asking question, they will build up their own, inquiries, and then they will get their own answers.
Yes.
Yes. So we need to instigate them to ask questions. We need not ask continuous questions. So whenever you're doing a sequence, okay, first thing is you have to understand what is the expected learning. Structure your learning so that it slightly increases the challenge at every stage of your lesson. Determine how your students will provide the evidence for their learning. Remember, I asked you the connection, how exactly you are connecting with your objective. So your evidence is most important because that is what is going to showcase that learning is happening. Learning outcome, it should be defining the excellence for the students then. So they learn best as per their interest, not as per our interest. So that is how you are embedding the concepts and verbs, thus enhancing who's that? Enhancing the skill development of the student. Okay, enhancing the skill of the student. So any questions? So we have come to the end. So this is about just an introduction. Because it is not a continuation class, I'm just giving you only on prior knowledge. But next week, that is after 2 weeks, we'll be having on differentiation. So before that, please do finish your unit 1 and submit your unit 2 lesson plan. 2 weeks you're having. The next class will be on December 8th. So please see that you finish your unit 1 and submit your unit 2 lesson plan, because there is a deadline that is going on, and after this it becomes very difficult for you to catch hold of me also.
Ma'am, UOL and also EOR for unit 2 also we need to submit.
No. Only lesson plan first. After lesson plan only. Just a minute. 1 minute. After your lesson plan for unit 2 only the other processes. Okay, unit 1, the entire folder should come. Unit 2, first is lesson plan only. Do not even start your EOL. After your lesson plan is approved, then you can start your EOL, implement, and then write your EOR. Because if you write your EOL and then submit lesson plan and lesson plan is modified, again you have to make changes in your EOL. So you submit, but make notes as and when you're submitting on how you're making your EOL so that you can write it accordingly. Okay. So
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
we're
you
working
send
on
the
the
mail
draft.
again, the drive again, ma'am, once we have made the corrections.
yeah, please do upload and just message me that you have put it in your drive.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yes,
Ma'am,
Alisha.
we are working on the draft of unit 1, ma'am. Draft 3.
See, one thing is EOL, EOR, as soon as you've got it approved, or okay, you can do it. I'm not saying no. But if your visit form and observation visit form and lesson plan is done, you can start with your unit 2 lesson plan.
Okay.
Okay, EOL, EOR can on the way happen. But this is EOPs are important because EOP has the connections. Okay, so your unit 1, if you have done EOL, EOR, that doesn't mean you should not do it and start with unit 2 LP. I'm asking you, keep your first draft of EOL, EOR of unit 1 ready. Because I'll be commenting on that, you can work on it. But submit your unit 1. In unit 1, observation visit form and your lesson plan is most important. Okay, first draft of your EOL, EOR.
Ma'am, EOL I have reworked and I have shared it once again, ma'am. I messaged you also because there were some things missing there. And lesson plan I'll be uploading today only, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, those changes, can we do it in the drive itself? What we have already
Yes, you can do it in no need. You can do it
Because
in the drive.
every time
Ma'am, while doing, we
See,
have
once
to
you've done
delete.
it, just give me a WhatsApp message.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough. Or you can send me a mail also that I have done the modification.
Okay. So, ma'am, there, like when you highlight that, no, ma'am, that we have to keep it like that and add on the new one.
You
Or
can
we have
close
to
it. You can close
we
it.
can delete it, but how we have to change the color, anything like this
No,
is a
you
change
can,
we
there
have
is
done.
a box.
I'll be
tick is
again
there. You will
reading
click
again
on
from
Tick
the
mark
beginning.
we did
So
it,
you,
but again, how if we delete it will come, ma'am, because if we
no,
delete.
it's
No, it
not
is not
required.
coming.
No, delete it's not coming.
Okay, so I can
You can
delete
just
it.
close it. You will have a close it. You can close it. It will go up. Again,
the-
I'll be reading from the beginning because
Okay.
I'll have my questions, key questions with me, and I will be reading which question is
Okay.
answered, which is
Okay.
not answered.
And
It
I
can
have
be
one.
random. Don't
Okay.
think that it has to be in a sequence. It can be up and down. Okay,
Okay.
but I'll
And
be looking whether all are answered there. That's it.
okay, okay. And ma'am, one more question, ma'am. In lesson plan for formative assessment, like for any activity, how can be the tense? Like the teacher will be assessing
Okay,
present
you are talking
continuous.
of no.
The
Lesson
tense.
plan is in the present tense. No
Present
issue.
tense. Teacher will assess learning.
Yeah,
Is it
teacher
okay,
will
ma'am?
assess. Unit 1, your EOL should
Their
be.
past tense, depending on the flow.
It's not flow. Actually, in unit 1, you're learning. Okay.
Learning
so
implementation.
It is like you are aware of things and you are connecting and making connections and presenting. Or something new you are learning and you are writing about it.
Yeah.
That is EOL for unit 1.
Yeah, okay.
It depends on the situation in your EOL, EOR. But EOP, it has to be, if it's a feedback form, past. Okay. So in the lesson plan, it will be future or present, not in past tense. Remember, lesson plan is getting written before you implement the lesson. So learners will be, that will come. Lesson evaluation, the last block, one block will be given. Can you see that in this one, unit 3, there will be 2 blocks. There it has to be past tense. Any other questions? So feedback form, I think Sai will be sharing. Sai, you have the feedback form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can share in the group so that they can
Okay.
Submit the feedback form. Okay. So if no other questions, can we call it a day? Done? Okay. Okay, then thank you. And
Thank you,
please do
ma'am.
complete. Please do
ma'am.
complete.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.